Hello and welcome to your regularly scheduled program, which is the news you're never going to find in the news because the news no longer reports the news, they just follow the narrative. This is number 7. Today is Wednesday, December 9th, 2020. Just want to remind you that those who tell the stories rule society, and we're here to unsettle the social order because we don't have an agenda unless you call the agenda the truth an agenda. We're going to do some of that with citizen, street, and guerrilla journalism because journalism is printing what someone else does not want printed. Everything else is public relations. We just wanted to welcome you today, 268 of 15 days to slow the spread, because here we promise only one thing, which is the truth. So what's the truth? That is the question of the day. But first of all, don't trust me, don't trust anyone, do your own research. Today's topic is your line. What is it, and when are you going to choose it? Because you must choose or suffer the consequences. So I have a section from an article by a gentleman named James Lindsay. He is a famous author, college professor, cultural critic. So I have some blanks here in this article that I put in. You can fill that blank with pretty much anything you want to fill that blank with. So here we go. This is obviously going to set us up for something here. So what I realized is how very helpful it is for people, rather than becoming confrontational, to encourage their friends to start identifying and naming what their non-negotiable lines will be. People's lines will and should vary, but as things get increasingly extreme, they will also get crossed more and more, certainly. Knowing the line has been crossed, however, takes knowing there is a line and where it is. The question to pose then is simple enough. What would it take for you to say that, whatever you want to put in that blank, has gone too far? Why should you ask this? 2 reasons. Given how out of hand, whatever you want to put in that blank, already is. First, people should be asked to grapple with the idea that things could possibly go too far, or even that they already have. Second, in circumstances like these threaten to be, everyone should stake out at least some tentative line that their current principles won't let them cross. And they need to do this before they've already crossed it and been forced to defend that which they currently find indefensible. This simple act of getting people to commit to their principles before they let them slip is of tremendous importance and use because of how we process our moral reasoning. We do this by post hoc rationalization, meaning that we lawyer ourselves into believing we acted morally after act, which often means that we've already crossed the line. Drawing a clear line ahead of time, especially in a social context where accountability weighs in, makes it that much easier to see the line, bright and clear, and that much harder to cross first and rationalize after. So based upon what I just read right there, think about this. Let's say that at the beginning of 2020, if I would have told you that before this year is over, the United States is going to shut down. You're going to stop going to movie theaters. You're going to stop going out to eat. In many places, bars, restaurants, and many other businesses are going to be forced to shut down. You're going to stop having get-togethers. Some people are going to have their electricity and water shut off for doing so. You're going to cancel your yearly vacation or vacations, however many you take, I guess. If you're lucky enough to keep your job, you're probably going to start working from home. Your kids are going to stop going to school. You're going to be mandated to wear masks indoors. Some places you're going to be mandated to wear masks outdoors. Some people are going to be given a nightly curfew. I could keep going on, but I'm going to stop right there. All of this is for a virus, okay? If you are completely healthy and show 0 symptoms of said virus, you are going to be quarantined. Yes, I know healthy people aren't quarantined, only sick people are, but that's what they're going to call it, and you're still going to do it because you're not going to be allowed to live the life, what's left of your life, as you know it, if you don't. Just for being anywhere near someone who tests positive, even if they themselves have 0 symptoms too. People with 0 symptoms are going to rush to see if they have this virus on top of that. The best part about all of this is that the testing is only 3% positive declared by health authorities So essentially, health authorities have declared that only 3% of positive tests may be true positives. So say a group of judges in Portugal who cite a study to back up that claim. So in response to everything I just said, you're going to come up to me and say, well, whatever this virus is, it must be absolutely devastating the population. It must be something like the Spanish flu of 1918, in which the average age of people dying from this must be 28 or something, right? Nope, the average age of this is 78. And yes, the current life expectancy for a U.S. citizen is 78. So you must come back, you're going to come back and say, okay, well, maybe people might die soon anyway are dying from this virus, right? If you're going to die, if you're 78, you're probably going to die soon anyway. So you might not be taken out by the virus. You just might be dying because it's your time, right? Then maybe people are getting this and they just aren't recovering. Maybe they're getting it and living life miserably for the rest of their lives, like leprosy or something, right? Nope. The recovery rate is basically 99.9%. In response to all of that, you're going to say, what? There is no way I'd go for any of that stuff you're talking about. You are crazy. And I'd come back and tell you, yes, you will. And yes, you are. All right. So I just wanted to back up a couple of things that I just said there. As you see in the bottom, circled in orange, from the CDC, as you see right to the right of the orange, during the 1918 pandemic, the virus also affected young adults between 20 and 40 years of age. The average age of death was 28 years old. Over on the right, you see from the CDC, the median age in years of people died of this so far is 78. And from the World Bank from 2017, the life expectancy in the United States is 78. So in green, we're talking about the recovery rate. So the WHO and the CDC, they both have numbers of estimates of people who they think have gotten this virus. And so based upon those numbers, we know the people who have died, and then you divide that big number from that small number, and then you have your recovery rate. And so the WHO's number is much bigger than the CDC's numbers, but either way, you take the number of either organization, your range is between 99.75 or 99.875, which is very close to 99.9%. Moving on. Just in case you think that the things I was talking about in that little story there aren't true, let's run through some of these things. So we have basically the theme of the day, right, is what is your line? Where is it going to stop? Has your line stopped already? Please let me know if you've reached your line yet. But did it stop at indoor face covering requirements? Did it stop at indoor mask mandates? Did it stop at outdoor mask mandates? Because we have outdoor mask mandates going on too. Is it going to stop at a national mask mandate? Are you going to be fed up if they just keep testing? Did it stop at the testing just being not reliable at all, being 97% unreliable? Did it stop there? Did they cross your line when they shut off the water and power, or threatened to shut off your water or power, or shut off the water and power of others? And if you think, no, that's crazy, I don't know what you're talking about, ask this guy. He had his power cut off. Did it stop at curfews, or will it stop at curfews? And if you say they're not going to enforce that either, ask these guys, if they didn't enforce it on them. Did it stop, or will it stop, or is it going to stop shutting downs of bars and restaurants and other businesses, whether it's yours or somebody else's, or whether it's far away or close? I think this lady, I wanted to show you her because I think her line has been crossed.
So this is my place, the Pineapple Hill Grill and Saloon. If you go to my page, you can see all the work I did for outdoor dining, for tables being 7 feet apart. And I come in today because I'm organizing a protest, and I came in to get stuff for that. And I walk into my parking lot, and obviously Mayor Garcetti has approved this. Has approved this being set up for a movie company.
This is catering tents, so food, right?
I'm losing everything. Everything I own is being taken away from me. And they set up a movie company right next to my outdoor patio, which is right over here. And people wonder why I'm protesting and why I have had enough. They have not given us money, and they have shut us down. We cannot survive. My staff cannot survive. Look at this. Tell me that this is dangerous, but right next to me, as a slap in my face, that's safe. This is safe. 50 feet away. This is dangerous. Mayor Garcetti and Gavin Newsom is responsible for every single person that doesn't have unemployment, that does not have a job, and all the businesses that are going under. And we need your help. We need somebody to do something about this.
This is the way, folks. This is the way. So, once again, where is your line going to be crossed at? Is it going to be at the mandatory vaccines? You know, what if they say you can't go to the office, you can't attend a sporting event, you can't even get a seat at a restaurant? Are you going to just say, okay, I really love that. I really love the Denver Broncos. I really love the New England Patriots. I really love the Philadelphia 76ers. I really love whatever sporting team you love out there, the Texas Longhorns. Doesn't really matter. I love them so much. I'll get that vaccine, the fastest vaccine ever developed in the history of the world, and a vaccine for a coronavirus when there's never been a vaccine ever developed for a coronavirus in the history of the world. I don't care. I'm still going to get it because I really love that rib joint down the road. All right. If that's it, then that's it. If it's not, then it's not. Or maybe it's for your job. Maybe you're going to still get that vaccine if they'll threaten to fire you. They're going to say, hey, if you don't get the vaccine, I know you're worried about it, but hey, if you want to come to work next week, you better get it done between now and then. Are you going to say, screw you? Or are you going to get it done and bite the bullet and keep your job? So how are they going to know, right? We probably already know they're going to do it this way. This is what it looks like in England, at least in theory. This is what they're telling us. This is what it's going to look like in our country, supposedly, if we have one. Or we may just have a digital version, an app right in our phone, right? So we can go anywhere, do anything, travel, whatever it might be. You never know. So what's your line? Is it indoor mask mandates? Is it lockdowns? Is it contact tracing? Is it quarantining? Is it a vaccination to go anywhere or do anything? Is it having your business shut down? Is it having your water or power shut off? Is it testing? Is it outdoor mask mandates? Is it national mask mandates? Whatever comes after, is it whatever comes after that? Because it hasn't stopped, so why would it stop? So here's my line. I hate masks. If you watch number one, the first one of these that I ever did, it's an hour and 15 minutes of how and why masks don't work in any way, shape, or form. So, but I've went along with it. If a store wants me to wear it, I'm going to wear it. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to confess. I've lived in an area where there's been lockdowns. So I've had to deal with those. I have been contact traced. I have been quarantined. I've had to deal with those. I crossed those lines. But right now, today, I'm putting my line right here. I refuse to take that vaccine to go anywhere or do anything. I haven't had to cross that line for my business being shut down yet. I haven't had to cross that line about my water or power being shut off. I haven't had to cross that line for testing because I refuse to get tested. I refuse to not wear. If somebody tries to tell me I have to wear a mask outside, I don't care. I'm not going to wear a mask outside. If there's a national mask mandate, that meaning I have to do that outside too, I'm not going to do that. And whatever comes after that depends on what it is, because I don't know what it's going to be, but I'm assuming these things are just going to get harsher and more evasive. I'm not having it. So now it's your turn. I need to know your line. I need to know what it is, and you need to choose it. You need to choose it now. Like I said before, because if you don't, there's no telling how far you'll go, right? Because as we talked about in the story in the beginning, you've gone so far, right? I've gone so far. And if we don't choose, then we have no idea how far we're going to go. James Lindsay, whether you believe him or not. So I wanted to end with this. It's a song called Slow Fade by a band called Casting Crowns. Here's how it goes. Be careful, little eyes, what you see. It's the second glance that ties your hands as darkness pulls the strings. Be careful, little feet, where you go, for it's the little feet behind you that are sure to follow. Be careful, little ears, what you hear. When flattering leads to compromises, the end is always near. Be careful, little lips, what you say, for empty words and promises leave broken hearts astray. The journey from your mind to your hands is shorter than you're thinking. Be careful, if you think you stand, you just might be sinking. It's a slow fade when you give yourself away. It's a slow fade when black and white are turned to gray. Thoughts invade, choices are made, a price will be paid when you give yourself away. People never crumble in a day. Daddies never crumble in a day. Families never crumble in a day. And then I added, because obviously this song is written on an individual level, which is true. But on a collective level, if we all slowly fade individually, our country is going to crumble, but countries never crumble in a day. So that's it, folks. You've been checking us out. Thank you for checking us out. And thank you for helping us upset the social order. Thank you for helping us push back against the narrative. Hopefully we were able to fulfill our one promise today, and that, as we always know, is the truth. And don't trust me. Don't trust anyone. Do your own research, because you never know. I might just be doing nothing more than just spitting in the wind.